I'm Franklin Beatty. I attended the organic school from first grade through the 12th, and I graduated in 1935. And organic school has had quite an impact on my life. I don't know as just what to say, but anyway, after I got out of school, what I learned in the organic school did mean quite a bit to me, especially some of the things Mrs. Johnson said about always doing your best. If you did your best, you'd come out all right. And I believe that that's one of the things that helped me more than anything else that she taught was always put out your best foot forward. She was very strong in that. The manual training part of the school was very good at the time. We had Pop Armagast as the manual training teacher, and I really enjoyed that. In fact, with another boy and I, Homer Heald, built a glider there, and after we were through with it, the wings were hanging up in the manual training building there for many, many years after. I don't know how long, but I know in the 50s I went through the building and they were still hanging up there over the top of the main part of the building there. And Pop Armagast to me was it taught me a lot in manual training, of course, woodwork. And I don't know just what else to get into there. When I got out of high school, I went to Buffalo, New York for a couple of years. Carl Swedadis was instrumental in me going up there, and I did very well up there, but the cold weather finally ran me back south. In 1957, I came back south. And
what did you do, Franklin, in Buffalo?
I worked in an automobile shop. I was a mechanic, and up there, I passed for 26 years old. This was, of course, and I ended up, I was foreman of the shop in about 6 months, so I really ended up with a nice job there, but I just couldn't take that cold weather. In 1936, we had the coldest winter that they'd had in years there, and I just ended up getting on the bus and coming home. Then, after I was home for a short time, I went down to Miami and worked that winter down there, and came home and got married and went to Texas. I was in Texas from 1937 till 1941. I came back just before the war. I worked in a machine shop out there and served as apprenticeship as a machinist. And I came back to Mobile, Fairhope, and then went to work at the Gulf Shipbuilding Company through the war. I worked through the war there till I injured my back, and I was unable to stay there any longer. So I came home and started a little shop on School Street and across from Organic School. And I operated that for 3 years. And I was having a lot of trouble with my back. I never had been able to get any relief from it. I'd gone to Eichner Clinic, Mayo Clinic. I spent a lot of money and still had a family to raise because I didn't get any insurance from the injury. And I ended up with having to go back to working on automobiles at that time, and I went to work for Jimmy Gaston. I worked for them about 14 years. And then I went into the machine shop business on Fairhope Avenue and operated that for 3 years. And I had a heart attack, so I had to sell that. I was working a little bit too hard, so the doctor said. But I've never had any more trouble with my heart since I got out of there. And that's pretty much up till now. And in 1971 I retired, and I wasn't at retirement age, but I had been able to, was eligible to have my disability, so I went ahead and took that in 1971. And since then I worked at home, some on this and that other. Then I got interested in carving, and that's what I spend my time at now. And some of the things that I've carved. This is a duck, and I haven't painted it. It's just the natural wood. The finish is pretty slick. And this is a ruddy duck. It's a little bit, it's a painted duck. And he's, the kids especially like him with a little turned up nose. And this is a little die dipper. He's just a little marsh bird.
You find any and all of those in our own waters, don't you?
Yes,
Franklin?
yes. Those are all in the ruddy duck is actually a duck. I've exaggerated a lot of his features there on that, but he's quite a...
Well, Franklin, let me insert a couple of things that I know about you. One thing, you've been very modest in your accomplishments, but you were known, whether you know it or not, you were known in Fairhope when you were working for the Gastons as the best auto mechanic in the whole area.
Well,
everybody wanted to take their automobile and specifically have you work on it.
Yeah, well, we had at that time at Gaston's, we had the biggest business in service department that of any dealer in Baldwin County for the years that I was there. And then when I went with TJ for 5 years, and I had the biggest business there of anybody in the county. But I tried to treat everybody fair, and that's the thing that really makes a difference to the public. If they realize that you're not trying to gyp them, they just come to you if you treat them right.
When you made the statement that Mrs. Johnson said, "Don't do the best," I remember she used to say to us, if you're going to dig a ditch,
do it the best you can.
Dig the best ditch you know how to dig.
That's right.
And that's the philosophy you